I don't think it went.
It's gone. Oh, no.
Welcome, Willie.
Extra one. Okay. Now, can I use this?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what kind of said, but
Load star.
lower star.
This is eating into your time, so
Oh, it already started?
I'm kidding.
Okay. May 8th, 1986, Emma Sanders had a 8-pound, 27 inches little boy named Willie Sanders. That's a big kid. Growing up at the age of 3, I knew what I wanted to be, and that was a basketball player. Like, I made my first basketball shot at 3 years old, and I knew right then I wanted to go to the NBA. Watching Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, the Bulls, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I pursued my career as growing up. I played basketball, football, ran track, and baseball. In football, I was a top 5 receiver in the nation in Jacksonville, Florida. In basketball, I was Mr. Basketball in the state of Florida. And in track, I won state in the 4x4 and 400. So I was what you call a very student athlete. I was very excited, I was very emotional, but to me, those things were an outlet for me to be able to accomplish things in life. I wanted to get a scholarship. I didn't want my folks to go broke trying to pay for me to go to school or have a free education, because that was my way out or where I was being raised. I was being raised on the north side of town in Jacksonville, Florida, 29th Street or Spires Avenue. It was very small, but it was very tough at the same time. I had a dad that was a truck driver. My mom was an RN nurse. So it was many days where I came home, house was empty. It was just me raising myself. But my parents was working. They was providing for me, and I kind of understood that growing up. So what I did was I used sports as my outlet, and that's why I became so good at it, because I didn't want to stay home. I stayed with the coaches, I stayed after, I did extra work, I put in the work, put in the time to make sure I perfected my craft to get better at everything I was doing. Didn't finish high school. We have a thing called the FCAT. It is a state exam that you have to pass your senior year to be able to graduate high school. As a junior, I didn't realize that it was something I needed to pass, and it got serious. So I realized I need to pass this test. The test, you needed to have a 300. Every time I took it, the first time I took it, I had a 298. Second time I took it, I had a 297. The third time I took it, I had a 299. And that's when I realized I'm not about to graduate high school. As a student athlete, #1 in the nation, #1 in the state of Florida, all the colleges, Duke, Miami, Florida State, Florida, I'm not going to. Didn't graduate high school, was devastating at 17. I turned to the worst and started living a lie, because everybody knew who I was because I was on TV, I was in the newspaper. When you seen me, they was like, oh yeah, that's Will, he going to college. So when I seen people and they asked me, oh, what you doing? The first thing they say, oh, that's Will, he going to college. So that's the first thing I had to say, realizing that's a lie, because I didn't graduate. But they assumed that I was, because in high school, when they shake your hand, they just give you like an envelope, but it's not really a diploma, because you have to come back the day after to get the real diploma. So I walked with my class and made it seem like I was going to walk and get my diploma, but I didn't. So everybody thought that I did, and didn't realize on the inside I didn't. So I was a public success and a private failure. So not only did I hurt myself, I hurt people around me. So at 17, we all make mistakes. They say some people get caught, some people don't. So I went to work at Foot Locker. I went to Foot Locker and I began to steal. I was trying to cope with things that I was dealing with. As a young man, didn't know how to deal with. Dad wasn't there. Mom can only do but so much. But it was still things, it was like a cry for help. So I started stealing. I wanted to fit in. I wanted everybody to like me like they did when I was in high school. So I started stealing. Come to realize I finally got caught. I did 8 months in jail. Wasn't good. Cried every night. But not realizing, I thought life was over. I had over like $70,000 worth of shoes gone. So, sitting watching the fireworks in a box. Like, okay. So I realized at that moment, people that was in there was mad at me because I wasn't being successful. So what I did, I prayed. And once I got out, I realized I got to do something better with my life. So I had a felony on my record. I had to go to work. So I realized I went back to school, got my AA. After I got my AA, I had a basketball scholarship, went back and got my bachelor's degree in emergency management. So now I feel like I did a whole lot because I'm like, okay, I have a bachelor's degree and most people don't make it out of jail to get a bachelor's degree. So now I have a story to tell. So once I do that, I go to Arkansas, I'm on the basketball team, and I want to go overseas, but I realize NBA is not something I want to do. I realize I want to help people. I want to tell my story. So I meet my wife, my 11th grade year, my junior year, and the best thing ever happened to me because she was in the military. Nobody told me that once you meet somebody in the military, you move every 3 months, things start going. So I meet her, we get married, 3 months later, we're in Germany. She has a child from her previous marriage, I have one from high school, and we have 2 together. That makes 4. So I realize now, basketball, sports, did what it's supposed to do in my life. It gave me mentorship, it gave me guidance, it gave me structure. It gave me everything that I needed to become the man that I am. I just didn't use it properly coming up the way I was supposed to get me where I'm at. But I'm very proud of who I am today. My girls love me, my wife loves me, my mom is so proud of me. I'm proud of myself, and I realize that Willie Sanders is a man, once he put his mind to it, he can do anything that he put his mind to, and nobody can stop it. Thank you.
Can I stand up for that speech?
Great job.
Because
That's awesome. Great job.
Really?
Amazing. So inspiring.
I can't stop clapping.
So inspiring.